Alright, watch this for a second. This is from my first Christmas live stream. I'm distracting, same role I usually play, same pressure, same expectations, and I'm not getting healed. Now, before you jump to conclusions, I wasn't mad, I wasn't blaming Ginger. I wasn't even frustrated yet, I was confused. Because Ginger was right there and nothing happened. And what makes this harder is, this wasn't out of nowhere. Before the update even dropped, Qwel was already saying, let's give Ginger time, let's not jump to changes. So they knew Ginger was sensitive. They knew she mattered. That's why when the update hit and things immediately felt unstable in real runs, it stung. And that confusion is why I'm making this video. Because this wasn't just one bad run. My teams and I always get to floor 20. We reset on 21 and that's our norm. Tonight, 4 runs. Highest floor was 16. And every single run ended the same way. Once the ice floors showed up. I stayed calm on stream, but yeah, that was frustrating. So after stream, I got on Ginger myself. I didn't want opinions. I didn't want Discord takes. I wanted actual gameplay. And this is where things clicked. Ginger's heal is completely different now. You have to be very close, and no more just with a tap of a button. You have to hold it down. And the person that you're healing basically has to stand still. And that sounds fine until you remember who Ginger often heals. Your distractor is never standing still. They're looping. They're repositioning. They're reacting to panic mode, blackouts, and speed changes. So when I tried healing people, they kept moving away from me, not on purpose. It's just how the game works. And that's when I realized something important. Ginger didn't lose value, she lost reliability. And after the stream, the Ginger player from earlier even messaged me explaining why the heal didn't go through. And that explanation is exactly why this feels bad in real gameplay. And before I go any further, I need to show you this, especially if you're not in the Discord. Qwel ran a poll asking whether Ginger's ability should be reverted or kept as is. And the results are almost split. This tells me this is not a simple situation. This is not Ginger is trash or Ginger is perfect. The community is genuinely divided. But here's the part that matters. A lot of people voting don't even have Ginger yet. So they're voting based on clips, opinions, or other people's reactions, not how this feels in real runs. And that's why I'm showing footage instead of just talking. And this is why emotions are high. Ginger wasn't just good, she was safe. In my last video, I said Ginger was one of the most reliable support tunes in the Christmas event and in the entire game. She has 4-star stealth, that matters. It means enemies don't prioritize her. She can sit on machines, play support, and not put herself in danger. And her healing range was the whole reason teams requested her. She didn't need perfect positioning. She didn't need teammates to freeze in place. She stabilized runs. That's why long floor teams loved her. When my team went to floor 114, we had a Ginger, and that was not random. Now, to be fair, Ginger did gain something very unique. Any tune that drops to 1 heart, whether they started with 3 hearts or 2, Ginger can heal them all the way back to full. It doesn't matter if it's a main tune or a 3-heart tune. Once they hit 1 heart, Ginger can fully restore them. And right now, she's the only tune in the game that can do that. That's real value, but the trade-off is heavy. Short range, hold to heal, teammates moving, ice floors messing with your footing. All of that together makes her feel inconsistent. And inconsistency is what kills long runs. And then there's the Ginger sticker that literally says stand still. I'm not saying this to attack the devs. I'm saying it because that tells me they knew this would be an issue. When an ability needs a sticker to function smoothly in real gameplay, that's a sign something isn't right. And then, surprisingly, Cosmo got a buff. Qwel said it. I tested it. One of Cosmo's biggest problems before was you had to basically be standing on someone to heal them. Now his range is better. It's not as good as Ginger's old range, but it works. And that's the irony. People complained that when Ginger was made, she was too similar to Cosmo. She then started to replace Cosmo in serious runs. People complained even more. So Qwel said months ago Ginger would get a rework. And now Cosmo feels closer to old Ginger, while Ginger feels harder to execute. But if I'm truly honest, that's not the outcome anyone was asking for. Now, about the ice floors. I'm fine with them existing. They're temporary, but they completely change how movement works. You lose precision. Turns feel delayed. Small, quick turns are harder. And when movement becomes inconsistent, that means healing becomes inconsistent. The ice did not create the Ginger problem, but it did expose it. This one actually hurt a little. And not because Ginger is bad, but because she used to feel right. She was reliable. She was the tune that teams knew could get a heal right to you from far away when things went wrong. When panic mode hit, when a blackout hit, when your distractor was one mistake away from going down. Ginger was definitely a safety net. I've played this game long enough to know when something's off. This is not patch notes. This is not from Discord. This is from my heart, someone who loves and plays this game all the time. Someone who knows how it feels when you're actually playing the game. And this feels off. I'm not angry. I'm not trying to start drama. I'm not saying let's come for the devs and they don't care. I'm so glad that Qwel was bold and did something very different. I respect her and it sounded like a great idea. I'm just disappointed. Because Ginger was supposed to make teams feel safer, not more stressed. She was supposed to reduce pressure, not add another condition. Stand still. Be closer. Hold it. Hope nothing goes wrong. And when something that used to hold teams together starts slipping away, when the healer becomes the risky part of the run, that changes how the whole team feels. You know, I had a deep thought. Ginger is a cookie, right? Well, this cookie is starting to crumble. When a cookie crumbles, when it starts to fall apart, it just becomes a mess. We have a problem. And that's the part that hurts.